1, 2. Hello everyone and welcome to Tony Dog Station. I'm trying something a bit fancy today, doing this sort of stream outlay. We're not gonna hang around too much. We're gonna get cracking and do some train sim stuff. The reason we're doing this is well, because as I mentioned in the last video, the new layout is going to be starting around the new year. And in the meantime, I wanted to do some content that people might enjoy. So I did the poll, and enough people voted in favour for wanting to do this. So I've tried out something a little bit posh. This is maybe a little bit too much, but hey, we'll see. I've got a stream bot in as well, sort of similar to the last video. So if that gets annoying, you're going to have to bear with me. I've tried to tweak the settings based on sort of the last video, but yeah, we'll see how it all goes. I'm hoping that down the right hand side is a big space for the text chat to appear, so I'm just going to try it. Of course it's not going to work, is it? Oh well. It's just annoying. I thought it would work. No, it should be there. Anyway, how is everyone? Is everyone sort of all wallied out, and what were your sort of purchases and stuff? Did everybody get everything they wanted, etc.? It's not working. Oh well. But yeah, so we're gonna do a bit of train sim today. I've got a few things on it. We're gonna sort of take suggestions and stuff. If people want to see something in particular, then of course just let me know, and we'll see what we've got going on. If you see me looking down to my left here, I've got my text and chat stuff coming up down there. So if you see me looking down here, so I can keep an eye on the chat and stuff. But again, you know, it's really I was really hoping that the chat would be coming up on the screen, but it's not going to, is it? I don't. Why is it not working? It's just one of those things that you can't do until you're live and see if it comes up. Try that, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, if you see me looking down, DJ Model Railway, all good here, thanks. Michael Byram, fine, thanks to all. Glad to hear everybody's okay. So we're just gonna have a bit of fun today, really, just see how this goes, and if this is something that sort of people want to see more of, then we'll do it more. So for people that don't know anything about Train Sim, it's they were at Wally actually. There's two games. There's Train Simulator, which is what this is, and Train Sim World. Now, I'm not 100% sure of the major differences, but this one I think is supposed to be a little bit more of a simulator, supposed to be a bit more realistic and has a bit of further afield, whereas I think Train Sim World is more console based. I think you can get it on the PC, but it's less sort of detailed and stuff like that. So we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is the high speed, and that is the London Faversham high speed route, driving the class 395 EMU, and we're going to do a scenario here based on the Korea, and we'll see how it goes. And then I've got some workshop ones as well, which we might even do instead, the Medway Javelin. Let's try something different. Yeah, let's try the Medway Javelin route. These are ones that sort of people have made, but I did check to make sure that they sort of got good ratings. So we'll give it a go, and we'll see how it is. I've for those of you that sort of chat with me on Facebook and stuff like that, you'll know that I've sort of got into my simulation quite a bit. I'm massively into flight simulation as well, but I've been playing train sim for a little while before that. But I've separate to this, I'm not going to go into it because none of you probably are interested in the flying stuff. But I've got yeah, a separate channel which I run for that sort of stuff. So we're going to run a quick scenario here. I'll talk through a few of the bit of differences, because the one thing about this line is you've got the TVM signalling. So you change from traditional British signalling, colour signals, to like radio signals, and you'll see that sort of in the cabin. So starting outside Strood, finish the Maidstone West to St Pancras International, stopping at Strood, Gravesend, Ebbsfleet International, Stratford International and St Pancras International along the way. Press tab once and the motorway train has passed. So let's press tab. Signals past the danger approved. So we've got a sort of shunting system here. I've got this system here is the TVM signalling, and I'll explain a bit about that when we get there. So we will first of all make sure we put the reverser into forward and clear the AWS when it comes up, and apply some throttle, and we're just going to shunt speed through here. What I quite like about this as well is you can see it draws focus here, and then if you look out the window you get blur here and you get focus out there. That's quite a nice little touch really. So we've got to be at Strood, shunt through shortly here. If has anybody sort of played this game before, and by the way, you'll have to let me know about audio volume mix. So if my voice is too loud, too quiet, if the game's too loud, too quiet, etc., let me know, and I'll adjust the settings as we go. But yeah, I'm just really sort of getting addicted to this game. There's some really good sort of stuff. So although we've got a speed restriction of 70 at the moment, obviously we're shunting through into potential danger, so we're going to keep it below 15. And the other thing with this train as well is you can see here we've got 6 point, that's the driver alert thing. So we're looking at miles per hour here, but the train is in kilometres. So that's why I've got this window up for anybody that's sort of familiar with the game. Just so I don't have to do the conversion in my head. Jeff, hi Tony, good to meet and chat at Wally Show from the Buzzard and Birds. Ah, Jeff, yes, it was very good. It was a very small world to meet somebody else from the sunny world of Thurrock. Not Thurrock, Basildon, but sort of they're all the same really. But yeah, it's definitely good to meet you as well. Thanks for tuning in today. This is something a little bit different, but we'll see how it goes. You can see the difference what I mean there between sort of the focus there, 20, and then we've got the focus sort of up there. So this line is my local line, which is why I've sort of always been interested in it. Strood is my local station, which is what we're about to pull into now. And when I came to Whalley, I got on at Strood here and got this train into London, and then got on what was the Virgin service up to Birmingham. But yeah, that's obviously no longer. But yeah, this is sort of a work in progress sort of testing idea really. So if you guys want to see something in particular, please mention it in the chat. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll sort of talk through it and show bits and bobs. And I might even do some of the tutorials as well, just so people can sort of see how it works, because it's really good at explaining things like the AWS warning ramps, TPWS grids, signalling, stuff like that. So for people who are interested about sort of positioning of certain things, it explains those. So we might do a few of those sort of basic tutorials. I've also got some diesel locos on here, so there's some historic. I think I've got a Class 47, an 08 shunter as well. So we'll play around with some of that as well. So we've got 6 cars. So we're looking for the 6-car stop. There's 3, and 6 is just there. So when we get there, and the thing about this station is they do honestly crawl through. At this sort of speed, because as you come around here, you've got the Strood tunnel, and that is a 15 mph speed restriction. So it is a sort of real brakes. Come to a stop, and we'll open the doors and load some passengers. And then when this time is up, you do get penalised for being late, you get penalised for leaving too early, leaving too late, missing stops and stuff like that, going past. Yeah, so it's kind of pretty realistic in that sense. But it's just a bit of fun. So we'll crack on. Next stop will be Gravesend. I think I've made it spawned in wrong. Now we've got the pantograph down, but it should be on DC power. Now if I put that back to neutral, shoes down, yes they are. I think it's still because we're in this passing danger phase. Remove the shoes. We don't want the pantograph up, we want DC power. It's a good job we're in a 50 mph speed limit, isn't it? Oh my god, guys, sorry about this. Shoes down, there we go. Power. Just seen it come up there, line volt. Yeah, pantograph is down. Midway Peninsula, hi, I've just joined to find you at my local station, Strood. Look up the Who Junction on your left between Hyme and Gravesend Station, should see some Class 66s. Yes, exactly, it's my local station too. I'm sort of right near Strood, so... For some reason I'm having a nightmare. Trying to get some power in this. Yeah, we've definitely got the power there. That's why I don't understand why this is being silly. There we go. This is embarrassing, isn't it? Shoes down. All of a sudden it started working. Awesome. Just wasn't putting the shoes down for some reason. Anyway. You're a Who as well? Yeah, it is a small world. Right. Ignoring my massive cluster, let's start by putting the lights on as well, shall we? It's still day, isn't it? Oh, this thing. There we go. So yeah, you see we've got a speed limit of 70, and we're sort of running in miles per hour. And then once we get to Ebbsfleet, we have to put the pantograph up and put the shoes up, and then we have to switch to overhead power. So that's what this whole problem I was having with it. I was trying to get the shoes down to take the third rail power and get the pantograph down, and it just wasn't doing it for some reason. So let's turn that off. So once we push through the tunnel, there's a small gap. I have to acknowledge that. So there's two systems on here. You've got the AWS, so that bell that you keep hearing ring. That's as you pass a sort of AWS, I think it is. If there's clear ahead at the next signal, you get a bell just to say, "Yep, it's fine, carry on." If there's a change at the next signal, whether it's a yellow, a red, or double yellow, or anything, or even a point change, you'll get a buzzer and you have to acknowledge it. You'd also hear occasional sort of beeping. Oh, we're getting close to 70. Don't want to overspeed, and that's, you have to acknowledge that every so often, because it's basically just to make sure that the driver is still alert and conscious. If it doesn't get a response, it sort of brings the train to a stop, and if you miss it, you can't just acknowledge it and then carry on. You have to bring the train to a complete stop, repower up, and then carry on again. So it's you have to make sure you acknowledge it. So that's the bell there, just to say, right, after this signal, the next one will be very likely to be green, unless it changes before we get there, but we can assume that it's green and continue our speed as if it's a green signal. So high speed doesn't stop at this station here. Our next stop is going to be Gravesend. And again, just trying to keep the speed consistent because we've got to be there in time. So there's the grid that we just went over, and we got a bell to say, yep, the signal's green, don't worry about it. And I'll go over the sort of space in between them when we do one of the tutorials. So here is Who Junction that we was talking about. The Medway Peninsula, sorry, said. Medway? Yeah, it was, yeah. I do have the Class 66 in this system, so it must all be out today. But we can do some shunting around there later if that's what people want to see. I'm just going to jump back in here so I don't miss any of the warnings. We're all good for now. You can see what I mean here, so it's sharp here and blurred outside, but if I then put my vision up, we've got a blurred here and sharp outside to see what we're looking for. Some power back again. Thought you are going to have fail with the unit. Yeah, honestly, I thought I'd done something wrong. I probably had. I think I just got it round. But it's, you have to make sure you're switching between DC, which is the third rail power, and the CTRL, which is the overhead power. And you have to make sure that you've either got the pantograph down and the shoes up, which basically drops all power, so it brings the shoes up off the rail and brings the pantograph down, or you have to press this, which is you put the pantograph up and or the shoes down, depending which power system you're on. But some of the detail that they've done into this game is quite good. Even just down to, you know, here's a, oh, I'm speeding, no, got too busy talking, just a bit over, so I'll get penalised for that. So as I was saying, you've got the AWS ramps, you know, coming up here, and the tubing for it, the point motors, everything. They've put a lot of detail into it. So here we're expecting something. So we've got a mandatory 50 speed limit for a section that we're about to go over. So basically, I forget the name of it, but it's a specific type of warning signal. So it could be a track deviation ahead, and that speed limit would apply to us, which is why we've got the warning for it. So although the speed limit is still 70, I'm going to bring us down to 50. And I think it was probably because that signal was out, so we got a warning, I think. If anybody knows different, please do correct me. And here we've got the 50 speed limit coming up, so we are at 50 for that now, because it's obviously where the front of the train is. Now we've got another signal or another warning of some kind coming up. So we've got board here, we've got a 30 speed limit coming up, so we need to drop our speed down to 30 ready before this tunnel, so we're going to really put some brakes on here. So we've got yellow signals, and the next signal we're expecting to be red, we've got a left hand feather, so we're going to be dropping to 30 to go over the point to go left, and hopefully pulling into Gravesend. So we're at 30, ready for it. And here comes the 30, so we're not going to be overspeeding as we go past it. So the speed restrictions will apply when the front of the train passes through it, and say we got a speed increase, the speed restriction will go in once the rear of the train passes that signal as well. So we saved here, we got 15. I'm speeding, I was too busy talking. I'm going to get penalised for that. And we've got a red signal coming up here, so obviously we're going to get, as we go over this ramp, we're going to get another warning. Oh no, it's not for us, it's on that track. So it's for the green ahead of us there. Right, so I can probably talk a little bit more now. I'm not concentrating on waffling. But yeah, so we've got the speed change would be when the front of the train passes through it. The train needs to be at that speed, and if we've got an increase, the rear of the train needs to be past that before you can accelerate. Okay, let's get over to Ebbsfleet where we must do our change of power supply, and I'll show you how we do that. So the power system for this train, power delivery, is stage 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it's not like a sort of variable type resistor, it's 1, 2, 3 or 4, and you have to balance between those to sort of get the speeds. So we've got a speed limit of 30 still. I'm going to keep an eye on speed this time. Dropping down to speed 1 for slower acceleration. And we'll coast through here. Now what's the speed limit change here? 70. Now you'll see the front of the train will pass through, and this should not change to 70 until the rear of the train. So here, still 30. And once the rear of the train passes through the 70, this should change up to 70. Like it has done there. So now we've got a speed limit of 70 to get up to. and then we'll be stopping at Ebbsfleet. Now, if anybody's familiar with this area, so we've got a flashing double yellow. I think that's a double. Yeah, or that's a triple yellow. No, it is double yellow. So we're expecting a diversion. Flashing double yellow. We're expecting a diversion. So I'm going to take the power off because we're going to have to slow to go over point work. And flashing single coming up here. So the one after that should be red. And acknowledge its horn here. There it is. Okay, I'm just going to start taking some speed off. Okay, so we're expecting a red. If it was straight across, I think it's where there's a change of signal ahead, and if it's on the diagonal, it's continue as normal. So here, yep. Expecting a feather here, so I'm just going to take a bit more speed off for the left diversion, and there's a speed limit change of 60 here anyway. If we're going left, which we are, and this is slightly downhill, so I'm going to take the brakes just to the minimum, just to help guide us down. And we've got the green to go into the platform, so there's no real point in accelerating here because we're going to be slowing down. What I can do though is just take the brakes off, coast in here. Don't forget we're looking for the 6-car stop. Which could be way at the end of the platform. One time, take too much speed off. Oh, there it is. Just a bit past it, but as long as you're within it, that's fine. We'll see exactly how far past it I am. Open the doors first, might help. Not that far. One door's width. As long as all the doors are on the platform, which they are. Okay, right, now, anyway, stop messing about. We've got to change our power supply. So, pantograph up and shoes down. Now we need to change to control power mode. And put the pantograph up as we've just seen there. And we've got line power there. So the shoes have come up off the third rail because now the third rail is going to disappear and we're on power. I'm just going to get going before I get a time delay penalty. It's not going to work, is it? I've done something wrong. Of course I have. There we go. You have to physically push that button. I've got the hang of it now. The graphics are very realistic. Does the software need a powerful computer? Cheers, Kev. Right. Yes and no. I have got a powerful computer because, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I do a lot of flight simulation. Hence why I'm sort of into my training simulation as well. So I have a powerful PC for flight simulation. So I can run it, but you don't necessarily need one because you can change your graphics settings. I'm just quickly going to come back to that, Medway. You can see now we're on the TVM signalling, and it says kilometres per hour here, and although we're at 36 miles an hour, we're at kilometres here. So I'm just going to take the speed bit down to neutral, because we don't want to be passing 80 kilometres. So this is our speed restriction, and these flags here are the signals. As you pass them, it's a radio beacon, and it will give you the information you need on this display here. If there's nothing for you, you'll get nothing. So now we've got a speed increase to 100 as the rear of the train passed that signal. So now we can go up to 100 kilometers an hour. So you can see why I've got this up to see the difference between the two. And then this is used in France and on the Eurostar, but because the Eurostar uses this line, this train has to be able to cope with this signalling as well. I'm overspeeding, only by 3, but still speeding. And we're going downhill, so we're going to keep the brakes on just to maintain that. So now we've got a speed limit of 225 kilometers per hour, so we can go full power for that. And you'll see as we get towards the end and we start getting speed restrictions, we'll get them in advance. So as we pass one flag, it'll be like, you need to be at this speed by the next signal, basically. It'll make more sense as we sort of see it. But Medway, going on to that, you don't necessarily need a powerful computer. If I pause this, options, no I can't. I'll show you when we get back to the main menu, but you can choose the graphics settings. So if your PC isn't as powerful, you can just sort of reduce it a bit. I'm lucky to say the sense that I have a powerful PC, so I can run this pretty much at full graphics, which is what this is, but you don't need to have it. The website for the game does give you the minimum requirements, and we can try and have a look at that later. If you remind me, we'll have a look at their website. I just had to acknowledge that, say I'm still here, still conscious. And we'll have a look at the minimum PC requirements. So this is Dartford Bridge, Dartford Crossing. Oh, get the right camera up. So they've modelled quite a lot. So it is nice. And that's the River Thames going underneath there, and that's the Dartford Crossing. And that would be the tunnel goes underneath. So the bridge goes from Essex to Kent, and the tunnel goes from Kent to Essex. And then on the right here, we should be coming to intersect with it, is the local line, which is the C2C line, which runs from Fenchurch Street, London, to Shoeburyness in Southend. Just wanted to dip back in to make sure that we hadn't had a warning there. And this area along here is honestly just full of industrial stuff, so this is quite well, very reflective of it. Anthony at Strathmore, hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. So I think this area that we're sort of passing through at the moment is like Purfleet and Rainham. No, not Rainham yet, it'd be sort of Purfleet area. And if I'm right, that is the Royal Opera House workshops, just in there. See, I missed an acknowledgement, so now the train is coming to a complete stop, and there's nothing I can do because I missed the acknowledgement. So the train has to come to a complete stop, and I have to restart it. This is what I was talking about, the driver alertness system, where I was at the cab for too long, showing off the graphics. I didn't hit the driver's still here, so it thinks the driver's fallen unconscious, so it brings the train to a stop. And you can't go, oh no, honestly I'm still here, and override it once you've missed it. You have to bring it to a stop, and then let it go again. Now I've got to reset the warning somehow. I think it's, there we go. Now I can bring the power back up. So yeah, can't stay at the cab for too long. That was So Realistic past the Dartford Crossing. Jeff Hammond, yeah, I mean obviously you'll be familiar with it because you're from that way. So yeah, it's quite impressive. And the detail that they've gone to. So this is the A13, just running across there. And we're about to cross through Rainham Marshes, and that is the line there I was talking about. That's the local C2C line here. Now it's not drivable in Train Sim yet. I don't know if they're planning on bringing it out, but you can't drive on that line. But it is modelled, which is good. So they put the detail in. So now we're going to be late because I've had to bring the train to a stop. But so as I say, the Eurostar uses this line as well, and that's what takes it down through to Ebbsfield to Eurostar stop, and where we're going. Acknowledge the warning this time. Where we're going to Stratford International is obviously where the not Stratford, St Pancras International is where the Eurostar obviously terminates. Anthony, good mate, got the power cab controller. Ah, good. Have you got it up and running yet? And I hope that it's all working well for you if you have. I want to get back up to 225 kilometres an hour, or 140 miles an hour. So not every part of this train is modelled, i.e. interactable, but everything that you need to drive it is. The systems are there for monitoring, and here these screens when you pull up to a station would in real life would show the drive of the station platform cameras. It doesn't. Again, I'm not sure whether these things are going to be sort of developed and added on, but it's functional, but it's not fully complete. So it's okay. It's definitely enjoyable, and that's the main thing. Let's actually hope we can get up to the speed before we have to start decelerating again. Thanks, my computer is 9 years old, so I'm looking to get a new one shortly, and we'll get one that will work with the simulator. I have the older version, but the computer cannot cope. Ah, okay. Well, as I say, if you look at the TrainSim website and look at their minimum PC requirements, I would go just a bit above if you can, but as long as you've got the minimum, it will run on that. That's what the developers recommend. So, but I would always go a bit above that, so you're not running your PC at full whack like all the time, because otherwise you are going to sort of struggle with it. I just took the power off there because we're going downhill, and we don't want to accelerate down past our speed limit because we're quite close to it. But yeah, I mean, if you want any help with PC parts, I'm quite good at PC stuff. I'm happy to give you some advice, as long as you take it with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I mean, I'm running the same quite powerful PC. If you want to know the details, I'll let you know, but I'm not going to sit here and brag about it. But as I say, it has to be quite powerful for my flight simulator because it is very, very graphic intensive. Again, I'm not going to go into it today, but if anybody is interested in flight simulator stuff, I've got another channel for that, which is actually mentioned on the opening screen. It's a Twitch channel, so if you're interested, just look at the Twitch channel for that, and I'll give more details later. Thomas Lord, hi James, liking this live stream. Which version of Train Sim is it? This is 2020, the new one, so it's the newest one out. So this is Train Simulator 2020. Anthony, yes, running really well. Still to read the manual. Sorry, I can't read. Still read the manual, but yes, loving it. I heard a beep, and that means I've got a change coming up. So I'm going to still let this coast down at around 200 kilometres an hour for now. We're not going to need to accelerate. Yeah, Anthony, I would love to give you some advice on it, but I've never used it. So, right, so now flashing. Expect a speed change at the next signal. So it's a radio beacon that we just passed. At the next radio beacon, we're going to get a speed decrease. Now I think it's going to be likely to be 200 or 180 because I've driven this a couple of times. We'll find out. 200. Okay. So we'll have just a bit more braking, bring ourselves down to 200 by the next signal. So it's all about trying to, maintain the best speed you can within the limits to, make it functional. It's now down to 170, so we'll add a bit more braking power this time because we've got a bit more speed to lose by the next signal. We're not going to make it. We're going to be over speeding. Just made it. 130. Keep some braking power on there. And 130 by the next signal. So all I'm using to play this game is keyboard and mouse. You can get sort of like external controls. I don't think it particularly needs it. I mean, it's good if you just want that bit more in-depth sort of realism, but a keyboard and mouse is perfectly fine, so you don't need anything special to play it. I'm just using keyboard keys to control sort of speed and stuff. You can do mouse interaction stuff here. And yeah, you can get external controllers, they do exist. A bit more speed off, please. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to enter the platform at about 80. I'm just going to put a bit of power on because we're going on an uphill section here. So just to sort of maintain it, you can still see this little arrow here means your speed is decreasing, and if it's the up arrow, it means your speed is increasing. So it's just a quick visual reference as to what power setting you're on. So my speed is still decreasing even with power setting 1 because we're going uphill. So if I put the brakes on, we'll slow a lot quicker. Thanks, Jill, for that would be helpful, and I assume it's easy to upgrade to 2020 version and keep the locos and routes I already have. Yep, I had 2019 and I turned it on one day and it was 2020. I didn't have to do anything other than just make sure Steam updated it for me. But if you don't use Steam, it is relatively simple to upgrade. I'm just going to get this to a stop at the 6-car stop, and then I will re-engage with the chat. Because I do have a habit of missing these. There's the 6-car stop. Sorry, at the last minute, we're way past that. Sorry. Yeah, so I turned it on one day, and I had Train Sim 2020. That's because I use Steam. I don't know whether you just downloaded the game directly. And this is what I was talking about here, so no image expected here just because the developers haven't done it yet, but that would give you the cameras of the platform so you can see what's going on. But yeah, there's a 6-car stop there, so that's the worst one yet. It's always when you're live. I promise you, before this I was doing it absolutely perfect. But yeah, so in terms of building a PC, yeah, I built my own. You don't have to. You can buy a pre-built one. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm just a little bit technically minded, so I built my own PC, and it's cheaper doing it that way. And it's not complicated. I think PC building is a lot easier now than it's all used to be. Strathmore, learning CVs at the moment, what a pain they are, never done them before. Yeah, I still, every decoder I have the manual for it, and I still always have that out whenever I'm CV coding. It's just, if you blow a chip by just putting the wrong value into a wrong CV, or not necessarily by coding it, but I don't know, messing up some of the power settings, but you know, it's money down the drain, isn't it? So I have the manual out every time, even if I know what I'm doing, just to make sure I've not made a mistake. And especially when you've got different decoders with different CV settings, it's always good just to make sure you've programming the right one. Thanks, I do use Steam, so that's good. Yeah, Steam's is a lot easier. It sort of just does everything automatically, but it should update. I mean, it depends what version you've bought as to how far they sort of upgrade you, but I had 19, so I got 2020 like naturally, but I don't know, say if you got Train Simulator 14, whether it automatically upgrades on. I don't know. It's something I can't give a definitive answer on. But how just for people in the chat, are the volumes sort of okay? Like, is my voice compared to the game volume sort of okay? It's hard for me to tell because I'm experiencing it through my PC speakers and headset, and obviously I can hear myself. I can't hear what's being broadcast. So if anything needs changing, please do let me know. So I'm expecting a speed change here. Now, we never made it to 225, so I can probably keep some power on because the likelihood is it's going to be a step down to 200 or at least 180. So we can probably keep some power on. We don't have to slow down from where we're at. So 200, yeah. There's no point doing a massive acceleration because the next stop is going to be 180 or 170. So we'll probably sit around 170 because otherwise we're just wasting energy really getting there to then immediately apply the brakes and slow down again. .170, so we need to be 170 by the next signal, so we'll maintain 170 and then we're pretty much on track, and then we can start decelerating again because we're going uphill now as well, so I'm going to keep some power on because we're going to slow down naturally to 160. Yeah, that's pretty much a good place to be. Volume is good, perfect. Alright, I'll keep the settings the way they are. He says, so it's just difficult to tell because I can't monitor it, because otherwise you'll get sort of like a feedback loop, obviously. So I don't know what's what. And then next stop 130, so we can actually apply light braking here, and travelling uphill with light brakes will do the rest of the speed decrease for us. Down to 30 now. So you can see why there's TVM signalling, even though the speed limit is still 225. So you need to sort of follow this here, and not necessarily this one when you're in this section of sort of Ebbsfleet to St Pancras. You need to follow the TVM signalling. Right, so we've got something coming up ahead. I can see a green signal, so it could be a track divergence, whatever the word is. Yeah, D. Okay, so we need to be down at 30 kilometres. So yeah, that was what the warning was for. We're diverting over to that track here. So 30 kilometres an hour, and weirdly enough, as we come back into this section here, we are on British colour signalling again, but still kilometres an hour. So hence why you need to sort of keep an eye between the both. And we are going downhill. Yes, we are. So we'll go to neutral and coast down a bit here. And up ahead, we've got expect a go ahead for going down here. You can see, if you're going straight ahead, if we're going through this track here, we're going to expect some change. It looks like the points are set to take us left, so we can expect a green or no change ahead. Yeah, we're going left. If you're going through there, you'd probably expect the next signal to be red. Maybe I've got that the other way around because we've got double yellow here. Maybe it's, yeah, downward left is expect a signal change or divergence ahead. So we're actually speeding now. A single yellow, so we're expecting the next to be red, and we can expect platform 12. It's a theatre sign. We're expecting platform 12. You can see here I'm in neutral, but the speed is actually increasing because we're sort of travelling downhill and the tail of the train is sort of chasing itself and giving us a bit of momentum down. We'll drop that again. Minimum braking is still increasing the speed ever so slightly, so we expect to change into platform 12. Here it comes. And we're still increasing speed. Let's pop those brakes on a bit more. As we pull into London St Pancras. And I would have changed here, quickly jumped, well, I actually ended up walking just across the road to Euston and then got on the Virgin train from there. I'll tell you one thing I have seen is these new buffer stops by is it Curascow, I think they're doing them? I could have that company wrong, apologies if I have. But those new modern buffer stops that they've released, I've seen some of the images that people have had and they look awesome, and I'm thinking about getting some even though I don't have a layout at the moment, or a modern image one at least. Okay. And here is London St Pancras. Probably just could have moved up a bit further, but yeah, even the other train's fine. This, I will say, this is very well modelled, except this one section here. I use this quite a lot. I travel to this station on this train quite often, and here at the end of the platform, I don't know if the platforms are too long or whether this hasn't been modelled correctly, but as you get off the train and you walk past, there's bloody hell, that's annoying. at the end there is you walk for quite a bit, and then there's the ticket barriers. And as you go through the ticket barriers, there's then another set of steps. There seems to be sort of a chunk missing from it, but it's only just me being finicky. But other than that, it's pretty much well modelled. I should have, I couldn't really done anything other than click that X, unfortunately, but I wanted to stay there a bit longer. But here we've targets completed 5 out of 5. That was not applicable to us. Speeded twice, that's not too bad. And we crossed a 395 EMU, and I know we passed another at the very beginning, another class. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, so that's the first run in a nutshell. You are right, it is at Accurascale. Yeah, I thought it was. But they look awesome, and I really, really wanted to have a go with one. Have a go with one of them. Have a look at some of them. What I want to do is show the academy training section, because this sort of explains a little bit around signalling here. Now, I want to do, where is it? There was a whole section. I don't want that train though. Tutorials. Ah, this is it, I think. Right. I don't want that train. I don't want that route. There was one where they explained about the TBM signalling. I think I was going to show, but can he find it? Driving. Maybe it's under there. No. Maybe it is under the drive section. Career. No, it wasn't. Okay, right. I'm going to put it to you guys as to what you want to see now, okay? We've got a few different routes and stuff we can do. So we've got the Chatham and Medway Valley line. It's not on here. Where is it? I've got all of them. Routes. Oh, right, okay, so we could do Chatham and Medway Valley lines, which is similar to what we've just done, except it doesn't do the high-speed route. It goes down through Chatham and Medway. We can do the Chatham Main Line. We can do the East Coast Main Line. We can do another London Faversham high speed if you want to see a bit more of the TBN signalling. We can do London to Brighton. We can do some London North London lines, so the London Overground. Portsmouth direct, so London Waterloo to Portsmouth, and the rest are non-UK. So those are the ones that I've got. If there's any one of those in particular you'd like to see, let me know. Otherwise, we've got specific trains we can use. So I've got a Class 319 Thameslink, Class 375 Electrostar, 377 EMU for Southern, the 378 Capital Star, the 395, which we've just done, Class 444 and 450 and 455 Southwest, the Class 465 Networker, that's again Medway Valley Chatham lines. We've got Class 55 BR Blue, Class 59, and I think my Class 66 is on my console edition actually. But if there's any one of those in particular you want to see, speak now or forever hold your peace. I know my stream is a bit delayed to the chat, so I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes for you to sort of potentially put some answers in while I try and look for this TBM signalling tutorial, because I think it would be quite good for sort of people to see. I'm sure there was there's more tutorials than just this. It just doesn't make sense. Safety. David Cotsmore, hello, how are you, my friend? No, it's not happening. Hope you're doing well, thanks for stopping by. We can do southeastern snow, so we can run a southeastern service in the snow. Don't know if that's sort of class 55 Clag and Thrash. So at the moment we've got one vote from Dave for a class 55. We can do something along the lines of that. I've got the Southeastern Snow Service. We can do. I've got a lot of Southeastern because, as I say, it's my sort of area. We can do a EMU sort of Southeastern service. We can do a container run, running some containers, obviously. That is class. I can't remember what that is. We can do the pipeline. We can run. Oh no, that one's corrupted. This thing. We can do another version of that. I think we've just done the Maidstone West of St Pancras. Dagden Cars. I don't think that one works either. No, it doesn't. Right. Nothing else. Let's do a quick drive then. We'll do Dave's class 55. I see a lot. I've got other trains that appeared here now. I've got a class 166 networker. I've got a class 08. I knew I had some other stuff. Class 325 Royal Mail. Class 37. Class 47, Class 55, Class 59, Class 70, Class 86, Class 92. I knew I had loads more of these. And we've got that Intercity High Speed. So yeah, unless anybody says anything else, we're going to go with Dave's Class 55. This does make me want to install TrainSim again. Yeah, man, do it. Trust me, do it. It's awesome. Right, let's do. Yeah, there is only East Coast mainline routes. I think for that. Yeah, leave it on that. Which class? Why does it keep changing? This is the one thing. This is a bit funny, right? So there's an FA Cup clash between local rivals York and Darlington. A special football service has been laid on, headed by a Class 55 Deltic locomotive. With one stop at Northallerton, you must arrive at Darlington before 2:05 p.m. to ensure all fans get to the match on time. But be wary in case they get too excited before arriving. Now, HST Intercity is always a good choice. Yeah, I haven't driven the BR Blue 55 in this game yet, so it'd be a learning curve of the controls as well, so that'll be interesting. There's a few of you watching. I'm gonna sort of give it one more chance for sort of anybody else to mention anything. Otherwise, we'll have a little look around as to what's going on. The one thing I don't like is this menu system. Like, I don't understand why it's not. It showed me all the trains earlier, now it's not showing me all the trains. Select loco. Yes, I'd love to select loco, but you're not letting me select loco. This one looks like a bit of a laugh. Drivers are usually required to stay safely within speed limits and operate a calm and relaxed service, but today things are different. Your task is to carry out a publicity stunt to show off speed capabilities for the introduction of the InCity 125 high-speed trains. Let's have that. We're going to give that a go. Now, if I do this right, there's some other stuff in the stream that you guys can do, that you can interact with. Now, I'm going to make sure I do this right, and then everybody who's in the stream shortly, I think you've clicked on the standard tab for all the... okay, alright, thank you. Yeah, the menu system is not... I don't think it's that great. I could just be a bit slow, but I'm not a fan of it. Right, I think now everybody in the chat should be earning points and things like that, so I'm going to add points to all viewers. Just because you're all here, you're all going to get 100 Brucey bonus points. To quote Clarkson, if in doubt, power. Yep, exactly that. Now, everyone should have some points. And you can use your points to do certain things, I think. And there are, I think there's games and things that you guys can do as well. Right, I'll come back to that in a minute. So, good afternoon. You have a grand duty today. You'll be running one of the first passenger services in the new intercity high-speed train. This will be a heavily watched service, so we need to show off the power and speed of this high-tech train. Okay, right, let's get used to the cockpit here because things are different. So here we've got a different to the last train where we had one lever for acceleration and braking, which was sort of different settings. This is sort of a on or off system, so it's gradual. Do points make prizes? Yes, they do. They do make prizes. And the more points you earn, you can do certain things with it as well. Let me just quickly bring up the chat command thing for it, and it will all make a bit more sense. Right, I think if I spell it right, H-E-I-S-T. Now ignore that poll thing. A poll is not going on. That shouldn't be. Close poll. Cancel. Yes, that was from my last stream. Right, no, trying to give the... So you've got something called 8-ball. 8-ball. Does Dave love HSTs? I bet this isn't going to work, is it? And then, so if you type this command, exclamation 8-ball, and then a question, you'll get an automatic answer. You've also got slots, say 1 point. And it's sort of like a gambling thing. Everybody's got points. I think that's the command for it. And you've also got duels, so you can have a battle with each other for points. So duel. Cottesmore 1. I think that's the way it works. I'm still getting used to these commands as well. Anyway, I'll come back to that I think a later date because you're not really here for that. We're here for this. But yeah, there's other things that you guys can be doing as well. So Oh, you have to dual. Okay, so between 10 and 10,000. Tom Slaw, by the way, I just want to say thanks to you and Pat for taking the time to speak to me on Saturday morning at Morley. Really appreciate your advice, help and time. Thomas, no problem at all. I'm glad that we could sort of have a chat and be useful, and it's what it's all about at the end of the day. Yeah, so no worries at all. I'm glad that you sort of enjoyed it. Right, let's try some trains, shall we? So looking at this system here, we've got a forward reverser and a rear reverser, so it's a little bit different. Acknowledge the AWS. Where are our lights? Up there. I know the command for it. H rear day. And that's about right. Is our other braking system. Okay, so acceleration, braking, left and right. Release the brakes. And let's get going, shall we? I'm going to look more into these commands. The Able one seems to be working. Okay, so speed restriction of 25 miles an hour at the moment, so we haven't got to worry about complex European signalling. We can just enjoy our good old British colour signalling. Look at that happy little chappy there. I'm not familiar with this area, so you guys that may sort of be from this area or know it, chip in with what we're seeing in front of us. But it certainly looks like some form of cooling tower. I've got the lights in the wrong way. Oh, should probably acknowledge the AWS. Well, I need to swap the lights around. Nah, let's get some speed going first. Right, lights, 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 lights. The sounds are nice on this as well. I do like the sounds. So some of these things work, some of them don't. There we go. Hi there, Kevin from New Zealand. Hi there, Kevin. Thanks for joining the stream. It's really appreciative of you being here. Yeah, full power. The green signal's up ahead. Yeah, the cameras are automatic on this, so it's obviously chosen an awesome place to view the train from. So yeah, I do apologise, there is a delay between the stream and the chat, so as I'm viewing your chat, it's probably about 30 seconds behind. Oh no, I'm speeding! my 125 mile an hour. Is it 125 mile an hour? Yeah, 125 mile an hour. Right in front of me. Cruising on through at 69 miles an hour. So what have people asked for Christmas for, layout wise, train wise? What are on people's Christmas wish lists? I've obviously got a lot on my list, including new baseboards. Well, not necessarily new baseboards, but certainly for the area. The way that we're sort of set up, I know you can't really see because of the way the camera's set up, but I'm sort of in my living room area at the moment. We've got sort of like a cut-off area of the living room. This is where the gaming PC is, and sort of this side of me here, yeah, it's a big open space where I've sort of mentioned about doing like a smaller end-to-end layout, and then sort of behind me through the door that goes through to the rest of the house. So I'm thinking about doing something here, and then it's all going to be sort of in one place, and then the loft upstairs is going to be, as I mentioned in the last stream, really what's happening with that, but that's sort of what we're going to be doing down there, hopefully in the new year, getting something built up there. So on the wish list is going to be pretty much everything you need to start the layout. I've got a load of stuff I mentioned before that I want to try and utilise from the old layout, but that is going to be rebuilt, so I don't want to take too much away from it. But yeah, so let me know what you guys have asked Santa Claus for. Class 66 sound version is Cemex livery. Excuse me, Cemex livery. Nice. I had a look at their 66s at Worley. Yeah, I do quite like the look of them. I had a 66. Have I still got a 66? I think I had a 66. And it was one of my favourite locos, I think. I'm probably going to end up getting another one. So the Hands is definitely a good option for me. I did like the look of them though. I suppose as well, Medway Peninsula. I probably should have guessed from your name, Medway, that you're from that area. The biggest giveaway that was right under my nose the whole time. Yes, we've got a 65 mile an hour speed restriction coming up. We should probably get some brakes on. Just made that. Just. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know you mentioned that earlier, but I can't believe I didn't get it onto me when you said it originally. That's what I mean. It's me being very late and tired, I think. 5, wait for the rear of the train to get through, and then we can punch back up. I suppose. The sounds on this, as I said, they are lovely. I think the developers actually went and actually did some real recordings and stuff, so it's not just random computer generated stuff, these are like sort of real sounds, so it's nice. Come on, just push up there, come on. Get in there. Thomas Lord, ask the missus for a backward class 37 in DB Schenker livery. Probably not, but you never know. Nice. Class 37 in DB Schenker, that is going to be cool, because DB Schenker is, they do stop at the Who junction. I'm speeding! The massage I was just talking to Medway about. And I was thinking about doing something based loosely on Who junction as like a little sort of shunting end-to-end thing. I just thought I may not have enough sort of space to do that, because let's say I go N, but then that means buying whole new stock all over again. Not really super into that. But yeah, sort of the DB Schenker stuff I've been looking at. And I was looking at quite a lot of it, because there was at Worley there was a DB Schenker class 08 for like going for like something like 80 quid. But I went back and looked at it a few times, and I was very close to buying it a couple of times, but kept having to tell myself no, because I wasn't buying anything at Worley because I didn't have the layout yet, and I thought I'm going to save a few quid and put it towards actually building the layout. But yeah, it did look nice. It did look nice. I only bought a few things at Worley. I was good this year. Yeah, but the thing is, she said, if you've asked, but probably not, but you never know. She said if you don't ask, you don't get it, do you? If you don't ask her, it's definitely not going to get it. I've asked my missus what she wants for Christmas, and she doesn't even know. She's the most annoying person to shop for. I think we're easy. We know what we want. So this, and this. Train stuff, whatever. And then they don't buy it. It's like, oh. See, the thing about this game as well is that people make their own routes, their own scenery, their own scenarios. So you can go onto like the Steam workshop area and like view other people's work and download it and stuff like that. I think pretty much it's mostly all free. I think there are like people that do like premium add-ons and stuff like that, which you can download that are separate to Dovetail Games developments. But the you can go in and, like, say if you've got, I don't know, for example, the line that we just done before this, that was a custom route that somebody had built. So like the graphics, sorry, were all the part of the game, but the scenario they created was custom. So like the signalling, they have to say where the signals are at what time and stuff like that. So it does give some variations to the game. You're not just driving the same thing all the time with green signals all the way through. You do get some variation, especially like one of the other ones I've tried before, the shunting stuff. Like if you leave past a certain time, then you get behind a slow passenger train, so you end up getting chasing the yellows the whole way down. Whereas if you leave early enough, you get ahead of it, and you've only got a few bits and stuff. So the game is quite sort of reactive in that sense as well. It's not the same every time you get onto it. I spotted the Flying Dustman at Hill Junction a couple of times. Oh really? Yeah, I don't go past it every day, but I go past it like quite frequently. But I've not really seen anything significant, to be honest. But that's pretty cool. What did you get from Worley? Right, I can show you actually. It's right down here. Only got a few little bits. Now, I picked up a wagon from. Down the speed. We've actually got a speed restriction coming up. We're going to miss this one. Speeding. Yes, I know. So I got a wagon, sold a scene for £8, not boxed obviously. Yeah, that's nice. So there is some quite good AI in. Let's put this back. Let's bubble wrap. What else did I get? I got 2 fluid containers because all of my flats have cargo boxes on them. So I wanted something just to break it up a little bit. So I got some food stuff and fluid container tanks. And last but not least, couldn't resist it, so I got the Railway Laser Lines Totten Fuel Line Store Kit. So that will be built hopefully on the newer layouts, depending on what I end up doing with it. But those are the purchases that I limited myself to. So nothing super duper crazy, but enough to whet my appetite, so to speak. What about everybody else? Tell me your purchases. So guys, I've just realised as well, as lovely as this is, we've got 17 miles and probably says about another 20 minutes or so. It doesn't appear to be anything too exciting going on this one. I'm going to do something that's a little bit more interesting rather than you just sitting here watching me maintain 80 miles an hour. So let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's do a random quick drive. No, let's do workshop. Let's do the southeastern snow because it's different and it should be interesting. And then we'll have a quick chat and then I will let you all go because I've just looked at the time and I tend to do this. I tend to just get wrapped up on waffle, but you're all still here, so you know. Got the same kit from Railway Laser Lines as a tester kit. Yep, and I've seen David build his. David, if you're still here, it's awesome. So I'm getting really excited about building that as well at some point. But yeah, I think there was only a few of them there. That's why I went over there sort of first doors and wanted to grab a hold of that. What I am going to quickly do while this is loading, we'll come out this bit. Okay. Just going to very quickly pause that while all the stuff loads in. It looked a bit blocky there for a minute, I was about to panic. Right, I'm going to be literally less than 60 seconds. I just need to quickly go grab a drink because I'm gasping. I forgot to get one before, so bear with me for just a few seconds. Okay, right, is my mic still on? Mic. There we go. No, that one. Microphone, yep, sorry about that. I just had to mute the microphone, but that's all now working again. Right, continuing on. This should hopefully be a little bit more interesting. Slightly different train, slightly different process. Though again, this is similar to before. It's all in one lever, the braking and the acceleration. So we've got a green signal. Let's get out of here. Having been on these trains, when I first played this sim, I was like, the sounds sound a bit weird. Like, they don't sound right in my opinion. And then I got on the train like a short while later and they sound exactly like this. All the little bits and bobs, they really nailed the sound on these particular trains. It really surprised me. Look at all the happy people. Except him. We should probably find the wipers. Speed limit 60, so we're doing okay for now. Wipers. Wash wipe. There we go. Keeping an eye on the speed. Green ahead. 2. Ah, way messed that up. I didn't even try to correct it because I knew how much I'd messed that up. Screamed over the point work at like, do you know what? We're so early in. That's just awful, isn't it? Can't carry on like that. It's always when you're live on stream and it goes horribly wrong. Right, let's just get going. Always do it fine and then mess it up. See, some of these things I'm talking about not fully modelled, you'd be able to think you'd be able to change all the way around, but it's not. It's just off or fast. Some things aren't modelled, like the hazard lights and that, but the horn is. Right, monitor speed, monitor signage. Do it properly this time, please. Okay, so now we know we've got some divergence going on. Here's the 20-mile-an-hour speed marker, and I'm still going too fast again. Oh, at least we're not screaming through it like a rocket this time. I must remember to stop at the platform. Okay, so we got 8 cars. There's the 8-car stop. Done it this time. Jeff Hammond, got to go. Really good session. Thank you. He was looking at Train Sim 2020 on Steam. PS, watch your speed. Jeff, yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate you stopping in. And yes, we will we'll slow it down from here. I think everyone's desperate to get home in the snow. It's Christmas time after all. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, Jeff. Really appreciate it. Have a nice rest of your evening. Okay, let's go to East Croydon. Nearly. Very close to 20 now. Those doors were definitely closed before I left. I think that was a glitchy bug. Alright, let's punch it. We got some ground to make up. Let's not hit the emergency stop button. I was just like, ooh, button press. No. No, don't do that. Lights, I think, were up here. Yeah, here are the markers. Day running. Tail lights to on. Yeah, auto. That should be right. That's gone to off. Day running. There we go. Oh, every time. There's an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit there anyway. Might as well. We've got the penalty anyway, we might as well make the most of it. Not stopping at this station. So we've got a 90-mile-an-hour speed limit now. Let's really punch it through the tunnel. Right, is anybody else familiar with this sort of area at all? Here comes 90, better slow down. Ah. I can see flashing yellow up ahead. We've got something interesting going on. Let's start winding down our speed. So, flashing yellow, we've got a divergence. Acknowledge that we've got a change coming. So, flashing yellow, divergence ahead. Or there's a warning of some kind. I'm pretty sure it's a divergence. There's another warning of a divergence, I'm sure. Yeah. It's flashing single yellow, so it's coming up. We've actually got a speed increase here of 80, but we're not really going to see the point in jumping up, especially if we have got a track divergence. And it will be at the next signal, which is possibly red. Or is that for the other line? No, ours is definitely yellow. Keep some speed on. Yeah, so we've got a left-hand feather here and a single yellow. So again, taking the speed down so we don't scream over the track. Oh, this is a high speed left, so we can take this at 70. It is then. Okay, so we're all clear for a bit. It was a little bit interesting just to see the change there. So not every set of point work is low speed. Could have screamed right through that 70. Now we can push ourselves all the way up to 90 now. It's potentially for us. No. Still 90. Something's coming up. Red signal. That's not, it's green. So that must mean that we've got probably a warning board of some kind coming up. Probably for a speed change. There it is, 60. That was handy. Been good for my speed on this time. So in case you're wondering why I'm not stopping at every station, it tells you what stations you got to stop at down here. If it's got a building with a green marker, that's where you're stopping. If there's nothing on here, you're not stopping at that station. Slowing down to a more appropriate approach speed into the station, and we're looking at platform 2, thank you very much. That's what we're expecting. Again, looking for the 8 car mark. Where are you? It's 3 and 4. That's 6. That's 8. 6. 10. We must have missed the 8. We'll stop at 10. Oh, there's 8. Always at the last minute. They're really quite difficult to see. I don't want emergency brakes. Open the doors, please. Thank you very much. Oh, that man just disappeared. There's some interesting anomalies in this game. Especially how all the people always look so happy. Over to Clapham Junction then, please. Off we go. So we've got speed increase to 60 there, but we have to wait for the rear of the train to be through. And we've got green with a left-hand feather. Wrong button. So we're at 60, and we're taking the left here. Let's punch it. Watching the speed because we're getting close. So now we're rolling downhill, we're picking up speed, so just apply just a bit of brake on, take it down and then let the momentum build back up. Got a 70 now anyway, waiting for the rear of the train to pass through the 70 marker. Then we can add a bit more. There it goes. Start dropping it down a bit. So this game can just get really, it can really absorb you. You can really get sucked into it. So if I am going a bit quiet, it's just a little bit sort of not intensive per se, but you can sort of really get absorbed in it, and constantly looking for information. I'll keep checking down, just look at the chat as well. I remembered as well, I've got to do something to make it not suitable for, is it under 13s, whatever it is? I know, was it one of the other guys was doing, or talking about doing some drinking and stuff. This is my not suitable for children method. So, looking up ahead, we're still at 70. Looks like there's another speed restriction going to be coming up. Okay, so there's a warning board for a 60 there, so we'll whack on some brakes, take ourselves down to 60. That man's walking through the platform. Don't know if you saw that. He was literally walking through. That's what I mean about some of the anomalies on this game are quite interesting. So yeah, we're taking ourselves down to 60 early for that. So the front of the train is at 60 beforehand. There's the 60, and we are just under 60. So we'll maintain that now. A bit more, floating a bit low. Let's ride as a passenger for a bit, shall we? Why not? Oh, we've got an empty carriage all to ourselves, look. How often does that happen? So that's the thing about this as well. You can sort of enjoy all different parts of it. So if you just want a set route, you can sort of walk around as a passenger, I think, as well. Or was that the Train Sim World one you can do? I think that's Train Sim World. You can walk around as like a passenger and stuff like that. Should we have a bit of a hooter? The sounds of it are nice. I think they've done well with the sounds on this. It was across all the sort of the locos actually do seem to have quite a good sound. So we're not stopping here. Just gonna punch straight through this one. Add a bit more speed now. So, Clapham Junction is coming up very shortly. About a minute and a half. Ah, come on. There we go. We'll take a bit of speed off early. Coast down. Sorry about hitting the mark there. So has anybody ever played this game before? I know there's only a few of you in here, but obviously it's not a free game, so I'm not sure if anybody sort of would have, or at least maybe heard of this game before, because I've not seen many people sort of playing it. So I sort of wondered how popular it really was, really. So it'd be interesting to know if any of you have played it before, or seen this before, or even heard of it before. Okay, right, we're going to look nice and early for the 8 marker here. It's got to be there, isn't it? Yeah. Easier to see this one. Okay, so that was warning for the double yellow. Open the doors, please. Not far now, carry on to London Victoria. Nearly there, guys. Nearly there. The thing about this as well is it does show you, obviously it's real time, so it does sort of show you the sort of the intricacies of actually driving the train for real. That's what I quite like about it. Obviously it's not the same as driving a real train. They obviously have to go through a lot of training and stuff like that, no pun intended, but you know, it gives you some reflection as to what they're sort of doing, not just sitting up there and pressing a lever forward and backwards all the time. There's a bit more to it, so it's quite interesting in that sense. And it's good with the sort of the older locos as well, like the diesels and stuff like that. You can really get in and play around with it. So warning for single yellow and a left-hand feather. So we're expecting the signal to be red next. So we're going to take our speed down. To 45. And then continue decreasing down to 30. As we take a left-hand feather. And we were expecting the next signal to be red. But we've got a green left-hand feather now, so we've obviously jumped up the chase that yellow to a green. This may flick yellow before we get there, but it's as we pass it we treat it as what it is, so it's green until we see otherwise. I'm speeding. You see what I mean? It's very easy to get distracted and lose yourself. There's another speed restriction coming up ahead of 15, so we're going to start preparing for that, because here it is. A bit more braking, please. was the left-hand feather, so we are going left, so that speed restriction applies for us. We're rolling downhill here, so keeping an eye on that speed. Gravity is going to keep us rolling. Okay, so green with the right hand feather. Keeping that speed low. That's 15 whichever way we go, so we're still maintaining 15. You want to be close to it, because obviously it's pretty damn slow. I had it when I originally came out in about 2003. I've been thinking about getting a newer version recently. Yeah, I'm not in any way affiliated with or endorsed or anything by this game, so what you're seeing is just my true honest enjoyment of the game, and I've got no horse in this race. But considering there's not many other options out there, I quite like it. As I said, it's not free. It's not the cheapest, and a lot of the add-ons, you do have to pay for some of them. But it's if you enjoy it, it's a good game. It's relatively realistic in some elements. The graphics are enjoyable, pleasant, and sort of do add to it, and you learn a bit as well. It's not just sort of all automated. So yeah, I'd say if you've been thinking about it, it's worth a punt. So even here, just because we're going uphill, so we're having to manage the speed quite a bit. As we came down the hill, we was obviously having the way at the train, accelerating us down, so we were just on and off the brake. And here, we're sort of on and off the speed steps between sort of speed 3 and 2, just to maintain. We've got a high speed rating of 35 here, but I've got another restriction of 15 coming ahead and a yellow, so it's not worth punching too much. So that's what I mean, just these sort of interesting sort of things to consider. So we'll float around 30. Warning for a double yellow. Yes, double yellow. So expecting the one after to be yellow, and the one after that to be red, and I think that is because we are approaching Victoria and we are 3 signals away. So we'll start slowing down here. As we approach a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. And again, gravity's propelling the train forward, so on and off the brakes as we approach a single yellow, and we are looking for platform 7. Well, I say looking for, we're going to be guided to platform 7, so that's what we'll be expecting. It's a good game, and I'll be back on it once I get a new laptop. Also, my daughter enjoyed playing it. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Actually, that's true. It's good for sort of the younger ones as well. It's entertaining, especially some of the stuff that you can sort of just jump in. It's got the best of both. I think you can sort of go uber realistic and try and do what I've been doing today, really, just minus the speeding, like I'm doing again now. And you can sit down with the kids and play it as well, and they can have a a good laugh with it. So I think it's got the best of both. And so have a look at the minimum PC requirements, and I don't think it's that high. Before I end stream, remind me, and I'll quickly look. Or when we get into Victoria, I'll quickly look for you, and at least you've got that sort of like an idea. Just want to make sure I don't punch up above 15 here. I don't stop too short of the platform either. So there some interesting funky graphic stuff going on there. So it's not perfect, but it's good. How she blows. Welcome to London, Victoria, and it's snowing even inside. This is what I mean, there's some funky quirks about it, but don't worry, I've just gone on the website and now researching laptops that fit. Oh, okay, so you've already done it. Okay, awesome. Yeah. As I said, you can run a laptop, a PC, whatever, and if you don't want to sort of go down that route, they do have a version for console. But it's called Train Sim World, not Train Simulator. There's made by the same company, they're just two different versions. And I think Train Sim World is more, you can actually sort of move around and sort of as a passenger and stuff like that. It's not as sort of replicative of the simulation side. Just from my understanding, I could be wrong on that. But yeah, so that was a nice sort of simple route through, nothing too extravagant. What I'll do is, I was going to sort of judge on how well this stream went, and if people want to see more, what we'll do is maybe next time we'll do something a bit more complicated. I'll have a look around and try and get some routes up for maybe some shunting yard work and showing all about the coupling and uncoupling, and maybe do some more in detail tutorials. For this, I didn't really have a plan. I just wanted to get in, play the game, and sort of interact with some of you guys and sort of see how this sort of worked. I've enjoyed it, so at the end of the day, that's the main thing. It's the same with that I've always said about sort of doing videos and stuff. If you enjoy it, great, and if people watch, then that's an added bonus. So, it's been good that we've had a sort of fairly consistent audience looking at it here. So, if you've enjoyed it, I'm sort of really grateful for that. And if you haven't enjoyed it, let me know what you want to see different. If you want to sort of see this again, or what you'd like to see different, let me know what sort of stuff you want to see, because if you don't tell me, I don't know. I'm going to either end the stream here, because it's been 2 hours, doesn't time fly, or I can, if there's something particular you guys want to see about this game before I end the stream, speak up now. I'll have a quick look at it. But other than that, I think I'll end it unless, say, anybody sort of speaks up. While I wait for some people to reply, I do want to see if I can get the not that one there. I want to see if I can get this. The chat box really should have been on the screen, and I'm not sure why it wasn't. Yep, that should be what it is. Always show messages. Ah, right. That's what it should have been doing, and I don't know why it wasn't doing that before. There's a button I've just ticked, and suddenly that's just come up. What? Why wasn't that doing that before? Always at the end of the video you get it to work, isn't it? Right. We'll make it a little bit bigger though. I think it's a bit small. I think that's about right. Yeah. So that's what it should have been doing beforehand, and I'm really frustrated that it wasn't. But hey ho, the should also be on those ones as well. Yeah, it is now. It's working. Weird. Okay, alright. We're going to sort of chill here unless anybody says otherwise. Most enjoyable time has flown. Well, I'm glad that it's been enjoyable. That is sort of the main say. It's not the main thing, but it's if you're going to do it, you know, I could sit here and play it on my own. I don't have to stream it. I just thought it'd be interesting to sort of see whether it works or not. I think it has, and I think I'll definitely do one again. It's just whether what sort of content people want to see. So I'm just going to have a quick flick through the menu here because I think it was Jeff earlier. If I got his name right. Yeah, Jeff said I had the standard thing selected, which wasn't working. I was in standard free roam. I think that's what I needed to do before. No, it's not that one either. Must just be career. I don't know where it was, where I could see all of my trains. Oh, there it is. Yeah, because I've really thought there was and I remember doing it, which is how I learned about it, the sort of tutorial for sort of the signaling and stuff like that, and that's what's really peeved me off because it would have been really good for sort of people to see a better explanation than what I can do of the TVM signaling, but you know, unfortunately that's the way it is. So I think we'll probably call it there then. People sort of haven't asked for anything in specific, which is I think probably good. We've had 3 different routes. I've enjoyed it, and I think there's been some good interaction. So I'm going to work on a few of the the chat bots and stuff like that, and sort of get things up and working. But the main sort of stream itself seems to have been stable. So that's the main thing. I'm glad people enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's been a good laugh, and yeah. So thanks for those that have tuned in. I know not everybody can stay for the whole time, but for those that have been here the whole time, I mean, well done you. And I'll just very quickly do the point system again, because if you're here in the chat now, still you get points. So loyalty, add points. So some people have got points. Crazy. Just give points to everybody that's still here. So people that are still here should have been given some points. It says it's on a queue to have them enabled. Points, 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 points. Yeah, this is what I mean. I need to work through some of these systems here. But yeah, right, anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to let you all get on with the rest of your evening. Thanks very much for stopping by. Thanks for staying in. Thanks for enjoying it. Thanks for, taking part and stuff like that. Really appreciate the positive feedback. And again, if there is anything else, please leave it in the comments below the video, what you want to see next time maybe, or what we can do differently, and what worked, what didn't work. Because it's all trial and error. But, right, I waffle too much. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. Have a nice rest of your evening, and we'll hopefully be back soon. Cheers, bye bye.